Hello students, today we are going to learn and discuss unit number first, the last lesson in English, which is written by Alfonso Daudet. Actually, Alfonso was a French novelist and a short story writer. But here, because of the French and Prussian War, which had a deep effect on his writing, and whatever he experienced, he has penned in this story. Now we shall start a story. The last lesson we can say, in other words, that it is a story of feeling and emotion towards the country. And the last lesson beautifully brings out the human tendency to postpone the learning of things, feeling there is a plenty of time to do, but they don't realize when will the doomsday will come and what will happen, whatever our aspiration, whatever our hopes, everything will become futile. So here a story of a little boy, Franz, who started today late for the school that morning. And he was also scared because his French teacher, Mr. M. Hamel, had announced a test on participle which he had not learned. M. Hamel was going to ask the questions, and really, maybe possible he might be scolded. But being a bright sunny day, Franz thought of spending the day outside away from the school because the chirping of birds, marching of the Prussian soldiers was more tempting than the rules of participles. He resisted the temptation and went to school. While walking to school, on the way, he passes through the town hall and sees the huge crowd around the notice board. But he did not stop over there because bulletin board always had bad news. The blacksmith watcher called out to him and told him there was a plenty of time to reach the school. Franz thought that he was making fun of him and he ran reaching the school totally panting. Now what happened? When he reached the school, he found some of the changes which were catching eye because he thought that he would slip into his place amidst the commotion that was usually there in the morning at the school. But everything was quiet, though it was on a sunny morning. Franz noticed that all of his classmates were already in their seats, and M. Hamel was walking up and down with his iron ruler under his arm. Franz was blushing and scared as he made his way to his seat in the front. However, M. Hamel spoke very kindly to him to take his seat because the atmosphere was totally changed. Otherwise, what would have been happen? He was a stern teacher. Now we will discuss dressing of Hamel. He was dressed in his Sunday best beautiful green coat, frilled shirt, black embroidered cap, which he wore on function and pride ceremonies only. And Hamel then thereafter mounted his chair, told the class that it was their last French lesson because the order had come from Berlin to teach only Germans in the school of Alsace and Lorraine. So M. Hamel announced the notice which was already served from the Berlin as tomorrow. Now villagers who were started to occupy the last benches to pay tribute to M. Hamel for his 30 years of sincere service and also to express their solidarity with France. And Franz was also thinking. He heard the teacher call out his name to recite the participles. He would have given anything to be just able to say the rule loud and clearly, but now he got mixed up on his words. He held his desk, looked down, feeling ashamed. M. Hamel said that he would not scold him, but he criticized the people of LS for their habits of putting off learning for the next day, and that day never come in our life. And also realizes the reason why teacher was dressed in Sunday best and the villagers sitting at the back. Everything was too much serious. M. Hamel realizes that all the children, parents, and himself are to be blamed for losing respect and regard for the mother tongue. M. Hamel thereafter realizes that everyone are feeling ashamed as they all are going to lose respect and regard for the mother tongue. And here we can say that Franz was also amazed to see how well he understood everything. He realized he had not paid much attention in the class before and that M. Hamel had never explained everything with so much patience. After that, they had a lesson in writing. M. Hamel had brought new copies with Franz and Ellis has written on them. As the class did their work, Franz saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair. In the end, he was starting at one thing after another in schoolroom as if he wanted to remember how everything looked. For 40 years he had given his service to the school. Now he had to leave his garden, house, and school. His sister was packing their stuff in trunks as they had to leave the country the next day. After writing work, they had a lesson in history. Then the smaller children chanted their phonetics, and old Hauser joined them, but he was crying. Franz and other kids looked at him and felt like laughing and crying at the same time. Then the church clock struck 12 and they all said the prayer, Angelus. At the same time, the trumpet of the Prussian army could be heard. They were returning from their drill. M. Hamel stood up, but he had become so emotional that he just could not utter a word. He went to the blackboard and wrote in large letters, Vive la France, which means long live France. He signaled to everyone to leave as class was dismissed.